words that I was getting for like 25 cents a click, which was not the, 2 to 3 cents a click that everybody makes you believe you're going to pay. Well, suddenly I had to bid like $2.50 just to activate the clicks. Just to activate that ad on those keywords, it's going to cost me $2.50. Now, I'm no math genius, right? But it doesn't take too much of a genius to figure out that paying $2.50 a click is going to make things pretty tough to break even, right? Let alone make a profit. But I kept at it. I didn't give up. I don't like to quit. But guess what happened? Basically, I'm sitting there banging my head against a wall. I wasn't going anywhere. I was getting more frustrated and more desperate every single day. Why? Because my hole was getting deeper. That's why. In fact, less than a month after I started on Google, I owed them like $2K, and I wasn't, I didn't have nothing to show for it. Basically, it was like being addicted to gambling. I mean, I was just throwing money into AdWords, hoping, at some point I'm going to, hit something and at least break even, get back everything that I lost. That's what the gambler's trying to do, right? But guess what? I didn't get it back. So I ended up quitting. I swallowed, the whole hit, paid Google their money, and then I was like, forget AdWords. So I focused on some other traffic methods. But then, after a couple of years, a big change happened. A chance meeting in Sin City, Las Vegas, here we're talking about. I unlocked the most powerful traffic machine on the planet. And I wasn't in Vegas to gamble, by the way. I was at an advertising convention. But what happened was I bumped into an old buddy of mine, somebody that, I had done some business with a few years ago. It was great to see him. We did some catching up. I couldn't help but notice, though, that he's like totally rolling in cash. I mean, he was flashing serious dollars all over the place. Ever since I knew him in the beginning, he was kind of a flashy guy, but I never knew that he had that kind of bankroll. Okay, so I asked him what he was into. What have you been doing lately? I didn't want to just, come right out and say, I'm wondering where you getting all this money from. But it turns out he was in payday loans. So I asked him, where do you get all your traffic from? Because like the finance market is like the hottest, most contested market on the whole internet, right? So that kind of traffic is kind of like gold dust, except it's even more valuable. Guess what he says? AdWords. He said it all comes from AdWords. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. At first, I totally laughed it off, right? If you do your research in the financial niche with AdWords, you're going to find that people are paying like totally crazy clicks. $25, $50 clicks, even $100 clicks are not unheard of. That's totally crazy, right? So I didn't believe him. I thought maybe he just really didn't want to share his traffic secrets, which I can't blame him, right? Most marketers don't. But guess what? He proved it to me. He grabs his laptop, opened up his AdWords campaign, and I was floored. He was literally cleaning up, and his AdWords strategy was nothing like I had ever seen in my life. So, what did I do? Exactly what any smart, struggling marketer would do in that situation. I asked a whole bunch of questions. Okay, question after question. Why do my bids always have to increase? Why am I not showing up on the first page? And people do a search. Why is my ad not showing up there? How can I get more clicks? And tons more. I asked him, I probably made him about sick, but what could I do? Right? You've got the person there that has all the answers, and you're so frustrated with the whole thing. I badgered him with tons of questions. And basically that weekend turned into a AdWords boot camp of sorts for me. After that weekend, though, what I realized was that I was missing out on a ton of I was throwing money away needlessly missing out on lots of profit just because I was avoiding AdWords, because I was scared, right? So guess what I did? I locked myself in my room. I fired up my laptop, and I set out to tame that beast, and I did it. I took everything that he showed me. I went head on with AdWords, and I'm telling you, I did not come out until I had made money. Now, I'm not going to tell you that it was an instant success, right? I'm not going to say I made thousands of dollars my first week, but I did break even right out of the gate before I ever, I just took what he told me, and I was able to implement that and launch a campaign that broke even, which was doing way better than I was doing before. Before I was like losing my shirt, digging my own grave. But from that point, it wasn't hard to figure things out and tweak it so that I was in a profit. And that was a huge change for me. The thing about this is, though, I'm not talking about, little loophole secrets and tricks that Google is going to just, change later. I'm talking about things that once you find out about it, once you have implemented it, it just works. Because it doesn't, you play by Google's rules, and bam, it just happens. So I stuck with it. I kept at it until I had worked out a system that literally I could take into a new niche, something I didn't even know about, something I hadn't been involved in before, and I could slowly work my way into serious cash just from AdWords traffic. Over the next 2 years, I refined that system. I trimmed off all the fat, right? I tweaked all the mechanics, and I evolved it because Google is constantly changing, right? They're always changing the rules on us. I found out how to do it without having to, play little tricks on Google. Tricks that, again, they're going to just find out about and change things up. Okay, it doesn't work. It's not worth the time. Let me tell you, my AdWords system is so efficient that I get around 50,000 unique visitors across my sites every single day. And those visitors, they're not just stopping to say hi. Okay, I'm averaging over $108,000 of profit every single month. Now, I want to show you some video proof because these numbers, it can seem crazy. But I'm not talking about, something that's unrealistic. You can do this yourself. And the video proof that I want to show you, again, it's video. It's not, I'm not going to do some touched up still photos. Okay? This is real video proof. Hang tight, and I'll be right back. Here's my one shopping cart account. I selected a period of 3 months here from June to August, and these are real numbers. I want you to see that this is consistent. That's why I've included the last 3 months here. We're talking about over 2,000 sales every